What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of the Dads, Not Always on Wrestling. How are you doing on this lovely Christmas morn, wherever you are across the universe, across the world, across the multiverse?
Across the universe.
We are here today to first of all wish y'all a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
And secondly, we have the arduous task
Yes.
of discussing the top 10 songs about the jolly man himself, Santa Claus, Kris Kringle. You know, what are the best songs just dedicated to him out there in the realm of music? There's some
Arduous is the word,
doozies,
brother.
man. There's
there are.
some doozies, and it was tough.
Yes.
It was quite the debate. It was such the debate that we didn't even determine what number one was going to be.
No, we did not.
We left that decision to you, the viewers, to vote.
Yes.
We came down to two, and I think pretty much anybody, it would come down to Here Comes Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is coming to town.
I'll agree with that.
So we allowed you guys to vote. And what came up as the top one? Well, you're going to have to wait and just ride with us on that one horse open sleigh or on Santa's sleigh with all of his reindeer. You know them by name. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. There is even Rudolph, Leroy, and Olive, if you do your homework.
Tra-la-la.
You know who Olive, the other reindeer, and Leroy, the redneck reindeer, are?
I
Good
do.
on you. You are our kind of people.
That's it.
If you don't, do your research. But we're not talking about reindeer.
For today, you're still our people, too. For today.
We're not talking about reindeer. We're talking about the man that the reindeer pull.
Yes.
Santa Claus.
Who I do hear, Jay, we will be hearing from later in this show.
Yes. That is the heavy rumor. I mean, we're talking like a Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp rumor. Like this is a heavy rumor.
Yeah.
Now we'll have to see if, like those guys, it's a wrong rumor, you know. Or
even
we're
on
going to have
Christmas.
to see if it's a press release from Stamford, Connecticut, and it ends up being factual.
Even on Christmas, no reprieves, by God. I will say this, though.
We know they're on his naughty list.
Well, they have to be, right? But keep in mind, if we do see the man in the big red suit and the equally big red hat that has nothing to do with this big red hat, it's just a big ass hat on my big ass head, he gonna be tired. Yeah. He just finished going around the world. This is the first full day of his vacation.
Absolutely.
But we felt that if we were to be able to reach him, this show in particular was important for him to weigh in on. And Lord knows, on Christmas Day, there is no heavier weight than Santa Claus and his sleigh. So,
and with that in mind, we are going to start the list with our number 10. And number 10 is really only number 10 because It's the title of the album. It is
Yes.
a deep cut. It's a song that pretty much nobody out there, except for people in our inner circle, is probably going to know. And it's a song by Joe Diffie called
Yes.
Mr. Christmas.
Mr. Christmas coming in at number 10. Again, we debated on these quite a bit, but Joe Diffie is just one of those guys that if you've heard of him, you know exactly why he's on any list. If you hadn't heard of him, you will Google it, and then you will find out exactly why he's on any list he's on. The man is entertaining as heck, and this song is a must listen around this house and around the casa I know, and throughout the multiverse. And if they aren't yet, they will be soon after hearing what we have to say here.
Yeah, I mean it's just a cute song. I forget how it first got brought to my attention, but when I first heard it, it immediately got added to my playlist. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's got doozy lines like, you know, sliding sideways, kicking up snow, making a sound that goes ho ho ho, a big jelly belly and a cherry for a nose. Could it be? Why, yes, it's Mr. Christmas. A Barbie doll and a little toy gun, milk and cookies, and he's on the run. You gotta love him, that old son of a gun. Was that him? Why, yes, it was Mr. Christmas. Just great lyrics to round this song together and bring just that spirit of who the jolly fat man truly is.
I don't even know you explained it perfectly. This song, as Joe Diffie as it is, encapsulates what Santa is supposed to be about. Not necessarily who, because we're all in on the gimmick, right? Santa is about the spirit of Christmas and the meaning of Christmas beyond okay, it's about the birth of Jesus. No kidding. But when it comes to Santa, I think Mr. Christmas definitely encapsulates what the idea of Santa is, or at very least should be. And as a country music fan, Joe Diffie doing it is just that whipped cream on the hot cocoa, if you will. But that's just, I think it's cute. And again, I like Joe Diffie. I didn't get to hear a whole lot about Joe Diffie until after he had kind of become less of a popular artist, shall we say, in the country world. But man, going back and listening to his stuff and having him part of this, having him kick us off is definitely the way to go on a Christmas morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in at number 9 is a song that I completely blame my daughter's mom for.
Absolutely.
I had never heard of this song.
Nope.
Until she exposed it to me.
Yep.
And when she asked me about it, knowing what a Christmas fanatic I am, knowing how, we won't say anti-Christmas, but what a non-Christmas person she is, because she's Jewish. She's always celebrated Hanukkah. She never really celebrated Christmas.
Right.
So for her to educate me on this song, I was like, wait a minute. Who are you to educate me on Christmas?
But you know what?
But then I listened to this song called The Chimney Song by Bob Rivers from his album Twisted Christmas.
Yeah.
And I will be gosh darned. There's not going to be any swearing on this list because Santa's watching still. I will be darned if it wasn't the cutest thing I had ever heard.
Right?
The whole song is sung from this little girl's perspective. And when you really think about it, it's a morbid song.
Yeah,
about Santa. Because she's singing about how there's something stuck in the chimney. She doesn't know what it is. And it's been there all night long. And she's waited up for Santa, and he didn't come for her. It's like, it's not fair. It doesn't seem right. Why didn't Santa come for me? And as the song progresses, there's something stuck up in the chimney, and it's been there all week, all month long. And finally, we get to the closure of the song, and there's something in the chimney, and I don't know what it is, and it's been there all year long. And I'll be waiting up for Santa like I did last year, but my brother says he's already here, and he's stuck in the chimney, and we'll have him every Christmas. So the whole song is this girl talking about how Santa was trying to visit her, got stuck in her chimney, and effectively died in her chimney. But the way she sings it and the innocence in the little girl's voice is just the cutest thing. Like, you could legitimately imagine my daughter at that age singing the song. You could imagine her sister, who is currently that age, singing that song. You could imagine Cindy Brady from the Brady Bunch. He's better than a doctor. He's Santa Claus. You could imagine that little believer singing this song. And that is its appeal and its hook and why it's on the list.
It's a beautiful thing. And that, boys and girls, is why when you go to these outlet stores, these antique type malls now, that you often see in a little box a key, a magic key that only Santa can use during Christmas, because sometimes he gets stuck in a chimney. Stuck in a chimney. Stuck in a chimney. He don't need to be doing that no more. So this magic key, you can call it a skeleton key if it was during Halloween, but it's a key for Santa. This precludes any death by chimney for the big guy. And as a Santa ambassador, I'm all for the not dying part of the gig. I'm just throwing it out there. But it's a cute song. I absolutely love it. Having been introduced to it, thanks to her, as you said. But now I can't ever not listen to it every year because of it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is on my regular rotation for my Christmas playlist.
Absolutely. This
However
next
many
one,
songs deep it is on there every year.
It is. This one really, the next one we're doing here, number 8, for those of you that are keeping score at home. And if you're not keeping score at home, it's because it's really on Christmas morning. We understand you're not counting yet. You're only counting presents you got. And we're cool with that. The number 8 is one that I knew as soon as we did this list, this had to be on there. And it's only as low as it is because the fact that it's about Santa is not really revealed until the second verse. But it's a great song, originally first done by, again, we're talking about classic country here. And yes, he's not as classic as, the Conways and the Hank Seniors and that, but he's definitely old school. Keith Whitley and The Christmas Letter. Now, I know a lot of fans of good old JM are going to talk about, we always talk about Reba singing that song, and that's true. Reba McEntire did the song, and that's how I heard this song. Mm-hmm. The lyrics are slightly different as far as the chorus goes, the way Keith writes it, and the way Reba sings it, of course, can be different because ain't no more twang than Reba McEntire. So it is what it is. But this song, both as a father since I first heard it and as a Santa ambassador now that I hear it, is just a powerful song. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jay, the first verse, it's all we know is it's an old man sitting at his desk on Christmas Eve. It's almost time for him to go. And he's just writing a letter. It's telling what he wants for Christmas. He wants peace on earth. Mm-hmm. He wants a world where there's not a hungry child out there anymore. A day where hope and faith will conquer everything else. Erase love and hate in the world. A little more love in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not till that second verse where he stands up and walks to his sleigh and
Mm-hmm.
calls out to his reindeer. You go, Santa's writing this letter. This is what Santa wants for Christmas. And how commercialized even Santa himself has become. Right, Coca-Cola? But even the big guy just wants a little more love in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just wants the world to be a better place. I think that's powerful as heck. And I'm glad I learned the name of this song in recent years, because trying to request it on Coast during my son's first Christmas at his mother's house didn't work out because I didn't know the name of the dang song.
Right.
But I absolutely love this song. I was not aware it was a Keith Whitley thing until you told me. So I thank you for further educating me on Christmas songs, because you know me, you think I'm the know, I believe I'm the know all be all end all about Christmas songs, and I met this guy and went, no, nay, we are simpatico, and
Yeah,
knowing that
we're
Keith
very
Whitley
much peas of a pod when it comes to Christmas.
yes, and knowing that Keith Whitley does it, and how much of affinity both you and I and your daughter's mom have for Keith, I was like, dude, right on. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely the Reba version that I got to know first, thanks to you, because you were the one that introduced me to this one, despite how much of a Reba fanatic my daughter's mom is.
Oh yeah,
The
definitely.
fact that she didn't introduce me to it, and that was from you, is already kind of,
Heck, they saw Reba this year in concert. I still haven't
Yep.
seen her in person.
I've seen her now twice, I think, maybe three
Damn.
times, at least twice. But I digress.
Yes. Anyway.
That's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's such a sweet song because, like you said, you hear it start, and you're like, okay, man. Like you said, man sitting at his desk writing a letter. It's like, where is this going? And then he reads it back, and you hear what the letter says. Wanting peace on earth for Christmas, which, when we're little, you hear the whole peace on earth, goodwill towards men, and you're like, you get the Alvin mentality. It's like, great, more room in the sleigh for my stuff.
Right.
But as you get older, you're like, dude, songs like this sounds like my grown-up Christmas list,
Oh, right.
which isn't about Santa, so we'll leave it where it sits, but
Yes.
very much along the same lines as far as a grown-up writing their grown-up wishes, and a lot of them, peace on earth, no hungry child, wars would never start, and time would heal all hearts. And then, like you said, when you get the reveal in the second verse that it's Santa, it's like, damn, you know what? Nobody, and I mean nobody, ever asks Santa what he wants for Christmas.
Right.
I have never, not never, seen that in a TV show or a movie.
Nope.
It's always, ho, 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 come here, little boy. What do you want for Christmas?
Yep.
You never get that turnaround, well, I'd like this and this and this, but let me ask you, Santa, what would you like for Christmas?
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, there's only one Christmas special where I can ever think of where somebody gave Santa a Christmas gift. And that was Dora the Explorer.
That's true.
Remember, she left a gift under her tree for him and he forgot it. So they went on a journey to the North Pole to give him his gift.
I remember that. Oh, long God, that's a deep reach, brother. I'm proud of that. I forgot all about that till you said it. That's good
That's
stuff.
the only one that I can even think of where something like that kind of played into things. So to hear, getting back to the song here, to hear Santa talking about what he wanted just kind of guts you. And especially to hear that it's something so simple that if everybody practiced the Christmas spirit 365 days a year instead of one day, 7 days, 30 days, we'd have a lot more of those things that Santa wants in the song. Because everybody would be a little bit nicer to everybody.
And it's a short song. It's literally 2 verses, the choruses, and an outro. That's it. But it hits so hard and so deep. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
How about I encourage everybody, I know it's already Christmas morning and Santa has long since got back to the pole, we hope, if we get to reach him today. When you go see Santa next year, be it at Disney, be it at the mall, be it a visit in your home, take the time. Ask the big guy what he wants this year. I think you'd be very surprised to hear what Santa has to say, depending on who in your circle is the one to reach out to Santa to ask that question.
And I'd almost bet you that Santa will be even more surprised to hear you ask that.
Yeah, I think a twinkle in his eye will be as genuine as it's ever been if you ask him. But that's just me coming from a bastard point of view. What a line.
Now, you talked about how short this song is.
Oh, yes.
The next song, if I remember correctly, literally timestamps at 1:59.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, these guys get their stuff in and get out. And while we considered including probably their bigger known hit on this list, when we really examined it, it wasn't a song about Santa Claus.
No.
It was a song about a little bobsled that they called Old Saint Nick.
Yes.
That was candy apple red with a ski for a wheel. The Little Saint Nick.
Correct.
However, the hidden gem on the Beach Boys Christmas album,
Whoop.
The Man with All the Toys.
You heard that logo real quick so you're not blocking out that poor man's eye. There we go.
The Man with All the Toys.
You love it, man. You love to see it.
You know, it's a great story, you know, about somebody who just discovers a house somewhere late one winter night. And as he approaches it, he stumbles into what it is effectively Santa's home.
Right?
You know, and he spots a big man in a chair and little tiny elves everywhere. You know, it's the man with all the toys. And it kind of harkens me back to the introduction of Santa Claus 2 and how they almost find the North Pole because of Curtis and his music. Darn you, Curtis. You're forever on the naughty list. I don't care if you are an elf.
Trying real hard to not be swearing today, Curtis.
But it kind of made me think about that and, you know, just kind of casually stumbling onto Santa's workshop and just being out exploring the wilderness. And hey, what's this house? There's smoke coming out of the chimney. I am cold. It is a snowy night. Maybe I can seek refuge in some warmth here. Oh,
Right?
it's Santa's workshop.
Like,
I probably wasn't supposed to find this, but here it is. And it's such a great song.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with it, again, I highly recommend that you seek it out and look into it.
And Jay, they talk about Christmas in July every year. Is there no bigger summer band? And we'll get to them, I'm sure, in our summer karaoke later next year. Is there no bigger summer band than the Beach Boys? I mean, shoot.
No.
There you go. Beach Boys song about Christmas.
They are the definitive, man. When I think about summer, and especially being a Cali boy.
Right. Yes.
You think of the Beach Boys, you think about Jan and Dean.
Yep. Absolutely.
There's others. And I'm not trying to knock them, but as a Cali boy,
yeah,
those are the two you think of, especially considering Brian and Jan wrote some songs together. So there was a little bit of a friendly
Uh,
rivalry and partnership,
absolutely.
at least short term.
Yeah.
I mean, Sidewalk Surfing and Catch a Wave are the exact same melody. One song's about surfing, one's about skateboarding.
Yeah.
But you listen to the melody and it's the exact same melody.
Yes. Yes.
But we're not talking about summer.
No.
We're
We're talking
talking
about
about the big man.
yes.
And coming in at number 6 is an older song, but I legitimately only discovered it, I want to say within the past, we'll say 13 years. We'll say since the original Casa.
Wow. Okay.
I want to say the first time I ever heard this song was at the old Starbucks there on Woodruff and Delamo while
Wow.
we were doing work, editing, uploading, whatever it was that particular day during the holiday
Right.
season.
Right. Wow.
But it's everybody's waiting for the man with the bag.
I'm surprised you are, and again, 13 years to people is not new necessarily, but I'm surprised you're that quote unquote late to the Christmas party, man. I was hearing this, and again, granted, I also listened to, the oldies Christmas stations too when they were playing with my dad in the car, but man, K-Star in this song just went along. Again, if the word playlist or Spotify was a thing in, the 1980s and 90s, it would have been there for sure.
Yeah. I don't know why I was so late to the party on that song, but if I had heard it before, it's not something that really stuck with me.
It's
Maybe
fair.
it's one of the maybe it was one of those things where I kind of had to get into the Frank and Dino and Rat
Fair.
Pack type
That's
of
fair.
thing before it stuck with me because it's very much in that vein,
Yes. Yes.
that jazzy swing, but it just never stuck with me until then.
And now it's
And I had, like I said,
yeah.
I heard it at Starbucks one day. We were there editing stuff, doing our social media, promoting, uploading an episode that we had done, whatever.
Yes.
And Starbucks played it, and I broke out my phone. I went to the SoundHound app. Do you
Ah.
remember that?
Oh
Just
yeah.
a little button so it could listen to the music playing so I could identify it. Went online, downloaded the song, and as of that point, it has been a part of my playlists ever since these last 13 Christmases, give or take.
We are so spoiled. And I'm glad you brought that up. Full disclosure, not a Santa topic, but everybody knows I'm not prolific. At least I was, and I am now, thank God, on the entirety of the Guns N' Roses discography. Right. So I'm at the concert in November, and I'm trying to hear. I can't figure out what the song is, and I go, okay, and I just play it, hear it live, and this is this. Oh, okay, cool. I love that we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you wanted to find out what a song was when we was kiddins listening to songs on the radio, you had to call the radio station.
Darn tootin'.
He did. And again, a lot of the stations back then were good on it. Not so much now. So those of you that are listening to or watching this show Christmas morning, we hope you realize just exactly how good we have it, that we can do okay or ask our little miniaturized computer buddy about something and just get the answer right away. Because it is stuff like that story right there. Having to go to Starbucks to do the work because the Wi-Fi was there.
Yep.
The luxuries weren't afforded to us because the kids needed a good Christmas, and we had top ramen and Crystal Light, by God, but we had our content.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about. The holidays are making sure there's a little more love and a little more brightness in the child's eye and the child's life, and that's what we did by eating too much sodium, drinking too much Crystal Light, and using too much Starbucks Wi-Fi. That's what we did, by God.
And the other thing the holidays are for families and for friends.
Yes.
Since we are at the halfway point, we're going
Yes.
to throw to a quick 30-second commercial. And this is where you can find all of the friends of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media if you choose to follow us. And there it is. Whether it's Instagram, Twitter, X, Twix as we call it, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, if you want to show your love and support for the talent, if you will, the associates, the affiliates of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, that is where you can find and follow everybody from NoDQ.com, the Great Cherry Brand, Josh Mansfield, Big Baller G, Noah Foster, the Simple Man, James, Stat Boy and Stat Girl, and of course, Jeff Meacham and myself.
It's crazy, Jay, that we're beginning a week. We've still got one more watch along for the year. And then open mic night on Saturday, man, or Sunday. Holy crap. It's crazy. We've still got a ways to go, my friends.
Yep.
And we're halfway through today's show already.
Absolutely. And as we start the second half of the list, I want to call attention to the graphic here really quickly before you throw it up.
Okay.
It's going to say one thing on the graphic.
Yes.
But again, as we told you during the Christmas songs that weren't about Christmas,
right?
There's some things where it's not as much about the version displayed on the image as it is about the song itself.
Right.
When it came to Up on the Housetop, which is number 5, we could not come up or find a good graphic to just signify Up on the Housetop.
Yes.
The only thing we could find was this one for the cast of Glee doing the mashup of Deck the Halls and Up on the Rooftop.
Which is cute as hell.
Yeah, I love the version. Don't get me wrong. It is on my Spotify playlist. It's on my Christmas list. But as we alluded to 2 weeks ago, Deck the Halls is a Christmas song that's not about Christmas. Up on the Housetop is very much about Santa Claus.
Oh, yes.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, down comes good old Santa Claus. You know, up through the chimney with good Saint Nick. Like, the song is all about him.
Absolutely.
But the only version we could find an image for to represent the song was this one.
Yes.
So, do not hate on us for the image that we chose. We just kind of had to ad-lib and improvise with what we were given.
But to the point, this song, this was one of the first Christmas songs I ever heard because it was on the old, here we go, the spine curving kids. I know this Jay's older than me, but the old Chipmunks Christmas cassette. Not CD, not Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. The cassette. And I realized it was a vinyl before because the Chipmunks are even older than either one of us, and I understand that. But hearing Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and a always disheveled David Seville, God bless that poor man putting up with that nonsense. By the way, going back to it's about Christmas, so it didn't make either list because it's not about Santa, but it is about Christmas. Ross Bagdasarian as David Seville doing Silver Bells. If you take the Chipmunks out of that chorus and have Ross do the whole thing, in the conversation to knock the Gatlin Boys off my favorite version of that song list. Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
David Seville Ross Bagdasarian and David Seville singing Silver Bells is a thing of freaking beauty.
Wow.
And it's just,
I know how
but it,
partial you are to the Gatlin Silver Bells, so to hear that come out of your mouth, that's
it
a
is.
very, very high praise. The fans at home may not get how big a praise that is, but I'm Captain America here. I understand that reference.
Considering this is the morning that we play the album on the regular to start our morning at my mom's, not demand, she's not that guy, but at behest.
Yes.
But yeah, Larry and his brothers doing that song. David Seville gets close, but again, the verses and the chorus. It's like, oh, that's enough of that. Love the Chipmunks, and
Yeah.
their version of "Up on the Housetop" was the first version I ever heard.
There
So
you
right
go.
away, you've got three playful kids talking about Santa Claus being on the roof, and it's just the memories off to the races from there.
Absolutely. And you will be happy to know and let the fans know you can actually find on YouTube. I actually watched this last night. The Chipmunk Christmas special with the
Yes,
Golden Echo harmonica.
that is going on the binge list for next year. Or free taping. It's going on this year's, but we're going on for next year for sure. That's wonderful because that's a unloved classic. I love that Christmas special there so much, man. That's awesome. I want to tell my mom that she won't like it very much. That's great that it's on YouTube in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
That's tremendous. Good stuff. Oh, you love to hear that. Much like we love to hear this next one, especially this version, if we're being real.
Yes. I mean, there's multiple versions of it, and they are all good in their own ways. But at the end of the day, you can't argue or dispute Yzma, Catwoman, Eartha Kitt, and her rendition of Santa Baby. I mean,
Even
you
the backup guys.
you can hear in her singing why she got the role of Catwoman.
Oh
You can
yeah.
hear it in her voice.
Yes.
Why she was so perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say her version is perfect. It is. It just is, man.
I mean, Madonna's is cute. It's very cute. It definitely gives up a Betty Boop type of vibe, which is what I feel Madonna was going for in
I mean,
19. I want to say that was 87 that she did that.
that sounds right. I mean, badoo be doos, and it's very Betty Boop. Yeah.
Taylor Swift has got a great version of it. Good old Tay Tay.
Yeah, she's
I'm
definitely my
sure she'll
favorite
be
version
singing
of
that for Travis Kelce this year.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how it's booked. I mean, how the relationship pans out. Because it's not fake or NFL driven or anything.
And then there's even a hip hop version by Reverend Run and the Christmas All Stars that was on
Heck
the
yeah.
third very special Christmas, where
Yes.
only the chorus is really the Santa Baby, and even
Right.
then they've changed the lyrics to make it a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
But man, when you think about the time and the era that song came out, okay, I want to say that song was like 1997.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
figure that it was like the Christmas after we lost Biggie and Tupac, and when you figure that on the same verse you've got Mace and P Diddy from Bad Boy and Snoop from Death Row, that was a moment that I don't think people realized was happening, and like really needs to be brought attention to a little bit more. There was already that healing trying to come with the East Coast, West Coast by having two of Bad Boy's biggest artists and arguably next to Pac, the most definitive death row artist on the same part of the song.
You talk about Santa writing that letter about wanting peace on earth and everybody coming together. That version of that song, just saying, Santa, there's your wish, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would not be near as important if Snoop was on a different part of the song from them.
Right.
But it
Right.
literally goes from Mace to Puffy to Snoop. and then into the chorus.
Absolutely. It is a clear, it's a beautiful version of the song, and it's a clear message. And that's what's great about it.
Well, I don't know if I could say it's a beautiful version of the song when one of the lyrics is, if I wasn't a boy, I wouldn't have had nothing to play with. But
beautiful in that it brought them together.
Moment was beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Fair point. Sorry, whitest guy in the room talking. My bad.
You're forgiven, my friend.
I appreciate that on a Christmas morn. Talking about
at the same time, though, there's really never a muzzle on a guy named Sticky Fingers. So, kind of is what it is.
There is that, yes.
Coming in at number 3 is another Santa song that's just simply iconic. And it's iconic for the right reasons. And for this version, it's iconic for some of the wrong reasons. And we will get into those. But I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. And again, you can talk about any version of this that you want. For us, it's the definitive Jackson 5 version, though. But what makes this version so good and so bad at the same time is you have to know your Jackson family history. And if you know your Jackson family history, then you have heard all of the Jackson kids talk about, try and tread water here on Christmas morning. We'll just say how abusive. Try and keep it simple.
Joe's reputation.
How abusive Joe's reputation.
Yeah.
Was. So for there to be a song about Mommy Jackson kissing Santa Claus and Michael saying, and I'm going to tell my dad. And the end of the song, or the brothers telling him, no, Michael, don't do that. Because they know.
They know what's up.
That based on the rumors that Meltzer, Alvarez, and Sapp have put out there in the world, Joe Jackson probably go beat Mama Jackson for kissing Santa Claus. And they want to save her from that. I'm just saying. And be with the pygmies down there in New Guinea. Amen.
To the Jackson estate.
Save her soul.
To the families of Meltzer and Alvarez and Sapp. It's Christmas, so we ask for forgiveness today and today only. Tomorrow, you can go back to kissing our butts. But today, we sorry and be with the pygmies, as JJ said. Now, before we move on to our number 2, number 1, can I just say how much Dennis looks like Michael Jackson in this particular picture? Can I just throw that out there for public consumption?
Because I see it too, bro.
I saw the picture. I'm like, did Jay Photoshop Dennis's face on the Michael here? Like, what the heck's going on? I saw it.
But I mean, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus is just an iconic song. It really is. You know, no matter how you slice it, no matter which version you listen to, it's an iconic song about Santa because, again, the kid doesn't know the secret.
Yeah.
But we as grown-ups listen to the song, we know the secret.
Especially parents. We get the gimmick, kids.
Yeah, exactly. We get that at the end of the day, and spoilers, if you still believe in Santa Claus, fast forward about 30 seconds. We get the fact that mom is kissing dad underneath the mistletoe.
Yeah.
We get the ha-ha with the song.
Yes.
You don't get it as a child. But as a teenager and a grown-up, once you cease to believe, you get the gimmick of the song.
Absolutely.
But just the whole child perspective of seeing Santa kiss his mom, and man, I need to let dad know about this, you know?
Yeah. In any other context, you go, well, yeah, that's kind of shady of mom. In the Jackson version, you're like, oh, no, Michael, that's bad, Michael.
It just becomes exponentially worse in the Jackson version because of the rumored
Yeah.
Jackson history.
Yeah. It's funny for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just cute and it's like, we get it. Oh, all right. Oh, wait,
Now down
hang
to
on.
the nitty gritty. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hang on. Just a minute. We have confirmation. Before we get to our top two, let us ask the true expert about things that represent or mean Santa Claus. Big guy, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, boys. What can I say? It's been a wonderful Christmas season. Had a glorious time last night making the rounds. My personal opinion, and this is me, of course, the authority, if you will, is I prefer Here Comes Santa Claus. But I know a lot of folks will prefer Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I'm a mixed bag, if you will, a mixed toy bag. So I personally am happy with either choice the public makes.
I mean, by the way, thank you for coming in, Santa. We know you tired, so thank you for taking the time off your rounds, doing your thing at the end of your shift, if you will. You get one shift a year, but it's long. Global flights are a thing. Unlike the airport, you can't get a global flight anymore.
Right.
So thank you for popping in, Santa. He gave his thoughts. The folks at home gave theirs as well. JJ, I will say.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the
I
day,
didn't vote on purpose because I didn't want to sway the vote one way or the other.
Yes,
and I wanted to be surprised.
You did.
When
You
the
did. And I appreciate
results were revealed.
I was legitimately surprised because I feel a certain way about it. And at the end of the day, this is the results that came up with almost 70% of the vote, which means number two came in at 30%. And we will talk about number two first. Number two is Here Comes Santa Claus. And if we're being honest, there is a definitive version by far in Gene Autry, the man who wrote it, the man who made the Santa Claus Lane Parade possible because the lyrics of this song itself. Now, the Elvis lovers will fight me. I won't fight back. I get it.
I will.
Elvis is a great version. But the Christmas Cowboy, Gene Autry, Here Comes Santa Claus. Here comes, and the way he introduces it on his album, talking about the story of the Santa Claus Lane Parade and how the song was the catalyst, if you will.
The parade was the catalyst for the song.
Sorry. Right.
He was the Grand Marshal riding in the parade one year.
Right.
And as he's riding down the parade route, he can hear everybody chanting out, "Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus."
Yes.
And he turned it into now iconic song.
Yeah. And if you've ever been to the Santa Claus Lane Parade, which has now evolved into the Hollywood Christmas Parade, which if you happen to catch it on Channel 9 when it's on every year, good on you. Hard to find nowadays, unfortunately, because it's still a tradition. It should still be on national television. But anyway, I thought this would win. I really did.
Same.
And it's one of those, I get why Santa Claus is coming to town on number one, ended up being number one because it's more prolific. It's been done so many times by so many different people in so many different ways that I understand. And we'll go ahead and reveal to the world that the image that JJ chose and I 100% co-signed on, while the song that this throws to, the actual song Santa Claus Coming to Town, may not be the definitive version of the song, the scenery, the imagery it invokes when you see this iconic Rankin Bass mailman portrayed by Fred Astaire in the origin story of Santa Claus before Tim Allen ever put on the red suit.
Yep.
Mickey Rooney as a redhead named Chris, which, I'm not Chris, but hey, I'll take a redhead origin story. I'm here for it. Santa Claus is coming to town. I mean, it's been done so many different times because it does tell the story. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. You know, he delivers the toy. You know, he's making the toys. They're dancing around the Christmas, like it's like everything you wanted to hear about Santa's origin. In the movie went, you know, we can make this into a story, and they did, and it's beautiful.
It really is, and this was part of why I didn't want artists
Yes,
to be part of the deciding factor in this vote.
correct.
Because I know Josh, big supporter of ours,
Absolutely.
was asking multiple times which versions.
Of each song, right?
Because although we do feel there are definitive versions of the Psalms,
Yes,
we didn't want the artist of said version to be
Right.
what swayed the vote.
agreed.
You know, we talked about Gene Autry and Here Comes Santa Claus. You put Gene Autry, just the name Gene Autry, up against something like the Jackson 5, Bruce Springsteen, Gene Autry's going to lose.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, at the end of the day, Song ended up losing anyways. But
Right.
now he's lost, though, based off of who he is, not the song.
Right.
Likewise, you put Fred Astaire up against Elvis Presley, Elvis is going to win. He's got more
Hands
fans.
down.
Then Fred Astaire lost on his name, not on the song.
Yes.
And that was the key here. Because, I mean, Santa Claus is coming to town, man. You got that great Jackson 5 version.
No, you
got
really do.
Bruce Springsteen, you know, and his goofy version that was live. You've got the Fred Astaire. You've got so many other classic versions. Again,
Absolutely.
Here Comes Santa Claus. You got Autry. You've got Elvis. You've got other greats. And we just didn't want you guys to vote based off of who the artist was going to be to represent the song.
Exactly.
And Jeff gave me so much props on that image. I had to edit that.
Oh.
Because initially, S.D. Jones, Fred Astaire's character, wasn't on the image.
Oh, wow. That surprises me.
It was just Santa Claus is coming to town.
Wow.
You know, it looked like a business card.
Interesting.
So I found a PNG. I put him up against the graphic. Bada bing, bada boom. And it just worked.
It does. It looks like it was made the way it is. It looks fantastic, dude. Well done.
It does.
I love it. Here, let me throw back up there real quick. Look at that. That looks like you bought it at a either a record store or a business card. What do you call it? Hey, this is the example of work we can do.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just copied him and pasted him in the same program that I use to make all my open mic night graphics. That's what I did with that.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
So there it is, kids. Christmas Day. The songs about Santa Claus that we feel, and hey, the big guy agrees. Can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think as we march toward the end of Christmas? For the record, there'll be no Meech's Musings today. I'm actually taking a day off.
As well you should.
That's it.
It's the beginning of Santa's vacation.
That's
Santa
right.
Meech should get to observe that as well.
I will do my best today. You know how I am about getting stuff done when it needs to get done. It is what it is. But I will do my best to refrain going forward today. But we will be back tomorrow across the Casa and the Jeff Meacham Network with Stat Boy Sports Bar, with the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday, with Talk Wrestling on Thursday, and then
with For the Love of Wrestling. You forgot about me, sir.
I was not done yet.
Because I'm taking Monday off too.
You are. That's yes, but are you going to be recapping the weekend shows on Tuesday morning with your Raw recap?
Yes. It's going to be a long one.
See, I was saying, this man's taking an extra long shift tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, bright and early, even though the kid's on vacation. We should be able to sleep in. By God, no, nay. Because we need to talk about our wrestling content, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
You know what? Even getting up at 8 o'clock is still sleeping in because my alarm usually goes off at 6:30 in the morning to take the kiddies to school. So
that's a fair and valid point, and I'm not going to argue with you one gosh darn bit because it's been beautiful sleeping in. Today wasn't a good example. We was up early. Even without the kiddo here, we was still up early because my brother and I just don't sleep in on Christmas. We don't sleep in anyway. But, you know, it is what it is. But after showing how much JJ loves his wrestling and displays for the love of wrestling to all of you, after Stat Boy Sports Bar, after the Greg Cherry Show, after Talk Wrestling, after simply predicting the very last pay-per-view of 2023, we here on the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, will be presenting our coverage of it to you. JJ, today was about Christmas and about Santa and about all that is good in the world. The question we have for everybody on Saturday is, can Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, overcome all the devil has thrown at him? Or has he been the devil himself all along? That is the question.
Find out.
Whoever is the devil, whoever leaves the legendary Nassau County Coliseum as the AEW World Champion, as the new Triple Crown Champion in the other big match of the night, the Continental Classic final, regardless of what happens Saturday, wrong genre, Sunday, is yet another Christmas for us here across the Multiverse of Media, JJ. As we present, I'm almost like stutter stepping because of how monumental this feels to me, just looking at all these different things we're celebrating. The highlights of 2023, the end of the fourth year, beginning the fifth year of my own network, counting down across the country, coast to coast to 2024, and then episode 100 of Open Mic Night, a show that, if I'm going to be honest with myself, would not have gotten all the way to 100 had you not taken the reins and carried us through the end zone at the end of the day.
Thank you, sir.
We've got, hopefully, people lined up. We've definitely got the core essentials, if you will. It's going to be a great week, and we hope that we have started you off here on this Christmas morn or Christmas afternoon or evening or good night, however you want to watch and take this show in. We talked about the Christmas letter being what Santa's wish is for Christmas. Our wish here on the Casa, on the Jeff Meacham Network, and the Multiverse of Media is that you have had or will have a very Merry Christmas today, and that you come back tomorrow and partake in the warm food, the cold beer, the hot food, the warm seats, the cold beer, that is Stat Boy Sports Bar, and just carry on through the week with us as we march toward World's End and Year's End.
Absolutely. Been a good show.
It was a good
conversation. Curious to know what the fans thought of it.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to watching it back when it airs, for sure.
Catching the feedback.
Yes.
Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys share the video. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that you know when we go live, when we drop new videos.
I'll tell you what, if they haven't subscribed to the channels, period, that's one thing. But if they haven't subscribed to your member section yet, JJ, dude, they're missing out.
I know.
Because was it this morning or yesterday morning?
It was this morning, good sir.
Look at what Noah and JJ laid on y'all for Christmas morning. My goodness.
All 3 matches.
Yeah. It wasn't enough that we gave you Christmas karaoke the other night. Oh, no. It wasn't enough that we're giving you a definitive songs about Santa list, these two crazy fools are giving you arguably the greatest trilogy of all time with their own amazing commentary laid over it.
Yep.
That may very well be the gift that keeps on giving, by God.
Absolutely.
But we digress. And we feel
Buy
you
the
guys should go
t-shirt.
enjoy your Yes.
We all know I did. It's too late for it to make a Christmas gift.
It's
Think
fair.
about it next year for birthdays.
You know what? It makes a heck of a Valentine's gift for your special someone.
Yeah.
Because it's funnier than heck. And if they understand the reference and you understand the reference, then that's love, baby. That's simpatico.
Yep.
And you already got a 2-month head start on Valentine's Day, so get on that, guys. We know you like to procrastinate. Come on. Don't lie. We understand. Get on.
All right.
Some silly stuff. It's okay, whatever.
All right. That's
We're
going to
having
be about enough of that. Or the West Coast Professor.
I've
Jeff
been told.
Meacham. I am the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you all for
Cheers,
tuning in
brother.
and
Merry
joining
Christmas.
us on this Christmas morning. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we will see you guys next time.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.